Empire at War didn't have the most straightforward development. First mentioned in 2004, it was discussed of a possibility of a real-time strategy video game set in the Star Wars universe. And in January 2005, it was revealed to the public, with a deadline of December 2005 and being created by the newly formed Petroglyph Games. However, there was a delay, pushing the original December 2005 date to February 2006. Whilst there isn't much information on this delay, one thing is for sure, content eventually needed to be cut. Now, a lot of the content we'll be covering here has actually been restored by numerous mods. Others were used for testing purposes only, and the rest were cut for unknown reasons. But before we dive into it, guys, my question of the day is, what one feature would you wish Empire at War would have? For me personally, I would love a ranked system for skirmish modes, high-paced 1v1 action against another player, and an MMR system that reflected your skill level would have been amazing. And if you haven't already, if you love all things Star Wars, Empire at War, Jedi Fallen Order, and just myself, Eckhart's Ladder and Corey Losers, goofing around in a game such as Sea of Thieves, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a future video. First on our list is Penguani, an infantry unit employed by an unknown faction in the game. The origins of the Penguani isn't exactly known, nor where its equipment comes from. The model actually has a set of animations as well, but no usable code to actually enable the model. Whilst its actual use in the game is not known, it is likely used as a dummy model for work in progress units, or maybe just a little Easter egg joke that was never made. Theories did spread that the Penguani species would use this Penguani model, but the speculation only goes as far as the Penguani being the only humans that the Zang Consortium can enslave, their buildings following the same theme, that being an igloo-like design, and that their names are very similar. The only other thing that can be said about this unknown unit is its file name, suggesting that it was a neutral infantry. Tani Abla was also another unused model in Empire at War. Bearing cat-like features, she was an effective commando unit, attacking enemies at long range with grenades and have the ability to use EMPs, as well as another active ability that allowed her to boost her movement speed for a brief amount of seconds. However, she was cut and her abilities were moved over to characters like Han Solo, C-3PO and R2-D2. Again, within her file name it suggests that she was a neutral infantry unit, despite being suggested that she was a rebel unit. Whilst there were many named planets in the files of Empire at War, ones like Duro, Gamma, Haps and Rakata Prime, none of them actually reached the mapping stages for ground and space battles. There is one, however, that got to ground battle modelling phase. That planet was Rattaytak. Footage here shows it followed the same red rock design, using a single repeating texture across the entire floor and some unique elements like the cavern in the bottom left of the map. You can also see just a bunch of desert civilian houses that repeat all across the map as well as some capture points. But other than that, that's as far as it goes. No space map was created as far as we know, but it's cool nonetheless. We should also note that some mods take this map and actually finish it and add it inside their mods. When doing our research, there was one feature that kept popping up: the ability to capture enemy ships, something that was retained and used during a tutorial mission. After digging deeper and asking Empire at War modders like Corey Losers, creator of Thrawn's Revenge mod, we discovered no actual framework or code to suggest that real-time transfer of ships from one faction to another. Whilst this does happen throughout some campaign story modes, transferring that ability to a regular unit didn't work. Thrawn's Revenge did create a boarding feature allowing you to capture enemy vessels in battle instead of having to destroy them, but this was done through entirely separate scripting rather than re-enabling any cut features. Three-way faction battles were also planned for Forces of Corruption expansion pack that allowed free players to go as Rebellion, Empire and Zaan Consortium within one galactic conquest. There is very little information on this, as free-player galactic conquest battle wouldn't necessarily work, as the entire galactic map needs to freeze in time progression when the ground or space battles were to occur, meaning there will always be one player stuck waiting for that battle to actually finish. However, 1v1v1 matches in skirmish were doable, and other Empire at War mods can actually take that concept further. We would have put ships in the forefront of this video, but there were no hidden or planned ships to our knowledge. There were some space units hidden hidden in code however, such as the Barlos Freighter, the Vigargo Fighter, the Moldy Crow, and some commonly known ships such as the Venator Star Destroyer and the V-Wing Fighter. But these are ships very commonly used across very many mods, to the fact that it feels like it doesn't even feel like hidden content anymore. Why these ships were hidden however are unknown. That pretty much covers all the significant findings within the game. Other things like the ability to blockade corruption from seeping into your planets in Forces of Corruption, upgrades to the Consortium Palace, scavenger droids, rancor stimulants and more were all just either content that is just copies of what is currently available in Empire at War, or removed because of balance reasons, or even just simply had no models or code associated to them. But that is where we have to end the video. Hopefully there is a few interesting things found here for you, because if there is likely a mod associated to it that makes it actually playable. But before I go, guys, don't forget our question of the day, which is, what one feature do you wish Empire at War would have? Let me know in the comments down below. We read all of them and try to get back to some of you guys. But other than that, I've been Charlie, you've been watching X2, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.